Ever since the creation of one of the largest social media platforms in the digital world, Twitter has allowed people to immediately connect and receive news and updates of whoever they follow wherever they go. Twitter has become a popular platform for many celebrities, and the amount of followers and responses through retweets and likes have portrayed a great deal of power towards them. With that power, they are able to share whatever news they have with their own thoughts and opinions, having the potential to influence those who read it. However, the responsibility for being able to hold this sense of power has been brought into question in recent years, more evidently with the current President of the United States, Donald Trump. Twitter and other forms of social media have been an increasingly popular platform used by our politicians as a way of directly communicating their message to their audience. Twitter's interactive environment has allowed them to be relaxed and less formal in terms of the way they communicate. We, as an online audience, are invited to discuss every side of a story, sparking a global conversation. It may seem as there are no rules holding back how one may communicate. Potential problems that may arise include mixing personal matters with political views. The 2016 U.S. presidential election saw over 40 million election-related tweets, with many anticipating the surprise victory of Donald Trump, who has presented much controversy through his policies, financial matters, and allegations of sexual misconduct. Having regarded most of the media as left-wing supporters who constantly attack his administration and distort his words, Trump has labeled them as sources of fake news, a popular term shared by many of his supporters who believe the media are to blame.
Why didn't you read my quote the way I said it?
To clarify his agenda, Trump has turned towards Twitter to voice his own personal opinions with the aim to influence the public that the things he says is real news. Since the beginning of his presidency, Donald Trump has had few press conferences, and his interviews have been more controlled, with one CBS interview abruptly ending after being questioned about his wiretapping claims against the previous president, Barack Obama.
It's enough. Thank you. Thank you very much.
The most common topic of debate clouding the president's controversial use of Twitter is the effect his tweets had on our ability to distinguish what is real, who is right or wrong. Take the climate change debate, for instance. If all the scientific research and study that had been extensively conducted is labeled to be a scam by our president on the basis that their work hurts American jobs and the economy, what is more important for us to consider? News organizations have went about their way conducting extensive research and investigations, collaborating with many different people in particular fields of study, helping them present articles with substantial evidence. Having to label and brandish all of their work they have done as quote-unquote fake news is a very strong thing to say. Despite the words coming all the way from the president himself, should the testimony of one man decide the course of everything? Take this, for example. Even if he was able to prove that there are quote-unquote fake news networks out there, is this what the public should be considering real news? In the past, we've never really seen anything like Trump's use of social media. Even the most recent president that was relieved from office in 2016 never utilized this particular social media platform as much as our current commander-in-chief.
Do you ever physically tweet yourself, or does somebody do that for you?
I do not physically tweet in general. There are times where I'm responding to like a particular issue. We're trying to get something out, and I'll get on there so that I'm interacting with young people or something like that on a special event. Generally speaking, I got some other stuff to do.
Some even consider it to be a bit out of control, especially after President Trump actually devoted his win to social media. As stated before, though, the question is not whether or not Trump should be allowed to use social media to convey his messages. Rather, the large questions are raised. Is it an appropriate use of social media? And further, is this to be the new norm for future presidents of the United States? What did past U.S. presidents do when they wanted to spread a message throughout the public? Even the 44th president of the United States who very much had access to just as many social media platforms as the current president, chose to come before a crowd of reporters and ordinary citizens of the United States and speak to them to show his sincerity. But now, all that we can expect is a tweet. The problem that a majority of people are facing now is that if President Donald Trump is going to utilize Twitter as he has been since the start of his administration, will his messages ever become any clearer? Or could it be that he is purposely being unclear about the things that he's saying? What if his lack of answering the question is one of his tactics to further divide the nation? Then all it takes, as history has shown, is a president that is willing to work hard enough to put us back together.